Today I'm comparing 100-day grain-fed steak from Aldi with premium grass-fed steak from a butcher. With the cost of living at an all-time high, the search for the cheapest but highest quality meat is a daily battle for a lot of Australians. So my goal today is to see if the difference in price from a butcher is worth it. In the past, I myself have always preferred to purchase meat from a butcher, but in the process of filming this video, we'll be providing you with a detailed breakdown of both steaks and bringing in a friend towards the end of the video for a blind taste test to help me determine the winner. If you would give me a preference, what do you think it'd be? So as always, let's go get some steak. The Saturday steak expedition. I mean, this is becoming pretty common in my life these days. The motivation for this video stems from a few videos that I've done in the past. I've had too many people in the comments say that I need to try the 100-day grain-fed steak from Aldi because it's actually very good. I was tossing up, it took me a while to figure out which steak to compare it to, and I thought the best and the most fair comparison that I could make would be a premium grass-fed steak from a butcher. And I say that because there probably still will be a difference in price. The butcher steak is likely going to be more expensive. I'm actually going to a butcher today that I've never been to before, but I know for a fact that they sell fairly high quality steak, and I thought that this would be the best steak to compare it to as a result. But yeah, like I said, I've seen so many comments from people in the videos about the quality of this steak and the fact that it's actually not too bad. I have never tried it before, so this is 100% going to be a fair review, no bias here at all, and obviously the person that'll be taste testing at the end of the video will have no idea what's happening. It seems as though a lot of people are loving Aldi. From the premium quality video that I did last week with my old man, it was the tastiest as well. It makes me feel a bit weird that Aldi are offering such cheap steak, because there are so many people out there that just won't be able to afford steak or potentially afford the steak that I'm trying today from the butcher, but they will be able to potentially afford the premium option from Aldi. Last but not least, I will be going to Aldi first today, and I'll be attempting to get a steak from the butcher that's around the same thickness, and I'm going to do that because naturally the butchers cut them a bit thicker, but I'm going to try today to request a thinner one just to make it as fair as possible towards the end of the video. Excited for this one. Let's get to the supermarket. And here we are, Aldi. Hopefully I can get my hands on a thick one today, and then I can actually get a really good quality one from the butcher, which will make this comparison just a whole lot better, I think. Into the Aldi establishment we go. Let me know what other meat from Aldi you want me to try, because they've got a lot. And the steak that I'm trying today is probably the most requested of the lot, so I'm very excited to see how it tastes. Going to a new one today, but they all look the same to me. It appears they've got the aged eye fillet as well, so I might have to try that one. How's this? Literally only one left. Thankfully it looks good, but this is the one that I'm after. 100-day grain-fed Scotch fillet, $49.99 a kilo. Looks like I'm going with this one. They literally had no other option. Like normally I like to go through and pick the best one, but thankfully the marbling doesn't look too bad on this one. Despite there only being one left, I think I went okay with this one. Steak secured. Let's head to the butcher and see if we can find a similar looking steak to this one. Off to the butcher we go. So I'm pulling up now to Griffin and Morris Village Butchers. Look at this. Oh, it already looks good from the outside, let me tell you. This looks nice. Do you have like a premium grass-fed Scotch fillet? Is this it's all grass-fed, yeah?
Marble score 4.
Marble score 4. Okay. I reckon we'll go for the Little Joe. Just one, please. Could you cut it maybe like that thick, maybe? I'm filming, by the way. Is that okay? Yeah, that'll do. Yeah. And that's some pretty good stuff, isn't it?
That's the good stuff. That's Little Joe.
Little Joe. Okay, beautiful. $27. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. Beautiful store. I went for their premium grass-fed option. This is probably the one that I'm most excited about. Let's get home, get these steaks out on the table, and let's cook some steak. And we are back from my Saturday steak expedition, genuinely becoming one of my favorite parts of the week. I honestly wish I could film earlier in the week, but time is escaping me these days, so I'm just doing the best I can. But here's my beautiful grass-fed steak from the Griffin and Morris Butchers in Berwick. First time I've actually been to this butcher. This is the Little Joe premium grass-fed steak with a marble score of 4. It's a really high quality grass-fed steak. I've actually tried this before from another butcher. In regard to grass-fed, you'd be far-fetched to find a better steak than this, honestly. And I'll do the price breakdown very shortly. I've got my grain-fed Scotch fillet steak here from Aldi. The worst thing about Aldi is the packaging. I hate the fact that it's individual packaging, and I've had a few people comment on that as well. First thing I noticed from these steaks is the color difference. You can clearly tell the difference, but that's due to the fact that it's been wet aging in plastic, whereas the grass-fed one wasn't. Thankfully today I've got two steaks that are very similar in size, and the marbling is also quite comparable. I mean, if you were to put these up neck and neck, you probably couldn't tell the difference. And I say that because this is, like I said, a really high quality grass-fed piece of steak. The marbling here is almost comparable to the grain-fed steak from Aldi, which doesn't surprise me given the quality of this grass-fed steak, but at the same time makes me really interested to see how these two compare. So I think it'd be worthwhile me getting the scale out, weighing these steaks, and then providing a price breakdown as well. But first I'm gonna wash my hands. I've got our trusty scale here. This has been copying an absolute workout from my weekly steak comparison videos. According to the Aldi steak, I purchased a 288 gram steak, which was $49.99 a kilo and cost me $14.40 in total. So I may as well weigh this out. Well, that's coming in, according to my scale, at 291 grams. And the butcher's steak is coming in at 316 grams. So I'm not sure if I mentioned earlier, but the steak that I purchased from the butcher cost me $27.34. So taking that into consideration, as well as the weight of 316 grams, it's costing me a total of $86.52 a kilo, which is $36 more than the steak from Aldi. This is the best premium grass-fed steak, or some of the best premium grass-fed steak I know money can buy. So it's obviously on the higher end from a cost perspective. In the past, if I've seasoned steak just before I cook them, there will be liquid that comes out of the steak, which sits at the base of the grill and actually prevents me from developing a crust. So in a perfect world, I would have seasoned these, left them in the fridge for about an hour before, at least. I'm not actually going to season these before I cook them in an attempt to make sure that I develop the best crust possible in the short time that I am cooking these steaks. Experiment of all experiments, honestly. I think it's one of the best that I've done so far. So let's get into it. So I've been preheating this beautiful cast iron grill of mine for about 10 minutes on a medium heat. And that's the beauty of these things. It is really good at retaining heat. And I'm not sure if you can see this, but it's got a thin layer of smoke that's emitting from the grill. That's generally my sign that it's ready. You've got a relatively good level of heat on the pan, so you don't need to have the heat too high. But I've got two reasonably thick steaks today, so I'm not as worried about the heat, because if the crust isn't developing quickly enough, I still have time to rectify it by increasing the heat during the cook. Bit of steak-lad beef tallow here. You don't need too much beef tallow, but I do like to have a thin layer, especially if you're using or you're cooking a thinner steak than the ones that I have today. Hopefully I don't set the smoke alarm off today. Butcher steak is just a tiny bit thicker, so I'm gonna get that on first. That's what you want. You want to press that down into the pan, and I'm just going to cook them both at the same time just to keep it even. Important addition, very excited to show this. This is a Steaklad branded stainless steel Australian made grill press. If you're watching this video, you're probably the first person to see me advertise this on my social media platforms. So if you'd like one, I'm probably going to make time to get this on the website in the next fortnight, but this is the real deal. Seriously good stuff. Very excited. So I'm going to put this on. The beauty of this thing is that it maintains constant contact with the grill, because that is essentially what's going to develop the crust, which goes back to what I said before about the salting. If you are salting and you're cooking shortly after, and there's salt that doesn't allow the steak to have constant contact with the pan, then the crust won't develop. I reckon it's only been about 1.5 minutes, but I'll set the timer there just in case. This is the Aldi steak here. Look at that crust. Wow, it's looking beautiful. And this is the steak from the butcher, which is also looking absolutely fantastic. So it's been a bit longer than I otherwise would have liked on the first side. Normally I like to give it around 2 minutes before I flip it, especially if you're cooking in the same spot, it will get colder. So whenever I flip, make sure that I increase the heat after I flip it, just because it's been cooking the other side already. Normally I like to aim for an internal temperature of around 45 degrees, but I do not have my temperature probe on me today, so I'm gonna have to go for a look and feel on this one. I think I flipped that at around 228, so it's been 2 minutes exactly. Let's give it a look and see how that looks. And see, that other side isn't as developed. like I said, that pan isn't hot enough. I like to have one of these nearby my steak. If you rest the steak on a plate, you're gonna rest it in its own juices, which essentially means you're still gonna cook the steak. So I think this one from the supermarket is done. Probably been a total cooking time of like 7 minutes. And I'll let that rest for around 10 minutes, and then I'll invite my friend in for the blind taste test. After I've done the reveal, of course. Up first, we've got our supermarket steak. And I didn't have my thermometer on me, so we'll see how we went. Definitely well cooked. Still got a fairly consistent pink color through there as well, which is preferred. Definitely pushing medium well or medium. What can you do when you're cooking 2 steaks at once and you got lights, camera action? Sometimes it's hard to nail it perfectly, so forgive me. Steak number 2, steak from the butcher. Doesn't get much better than this, ladies and gentlemen. I reckon this one's gonna be perfect. Based on how that other one looked, I think this one's gonna be bang on. And yeah, look at that. Just the butcher one was just that slightly bit thicker, and I cooked them a similar amount of time, so that's probably why this one looks the way that it does. Well, there you go, I'll compare the both of them. Butcher steak here on the left of my left, and we've got our supermarket steak here. So I think I'm gonna give him the butcher steak first. The guest has arrived. Hey mate.
Hey man.
It's here.
Fucking good in here.
Really? You gotta get the blindfold on, brother. Follow the protocol. There we go, blindfold on. Perfect. We've got 2 steaks here for you to try. We're gonna salt these up. Like I said, you don't know what's going on. You're just gonna tell me which one tastes better. Pretty simple, I'll feed you. Bit of a head nod there.
It's very good.
Very good?
Very tender.
Out of 10?
A solid 7.
A solid 7. Not the best in the world, but not the worst.
Above average, but...
Above average, okay. Here's the next bit.
I don't know, man. It's very similar.
Really?
That was really similar.
You might go again?
Yeah, I reckon.
And this is the first one.
I've definitely had better steaks from you.
Okay.
But very nice.
Very nice, okay. Maybe I've just set the bar really high. This is the next one.
That could be the problem.
Yeah. It's been a while though. It's been a while since you've eaten some steak from me. That's the second one. It's hard.
I think again, both very similar.
Really?
Yeah, really, really similar.
If you would give me a preference, what do you think it'd be?
I think the first one was a little bit more like juicy. Like the flavour profile was a bit more
pronounced.
Tantalising.
Tantalising, okay.
Yes.
I haven't heard that word in a while. So we've got a steak from a butcher here, and this is the steak from Aldi.
Which one was one?
One was the butcher one. This one was $87 a kilo, and this was 50.
There wasn't a huge amount of difference.
Really? Let me see. It's good. This is an Aldi steak, yeah. By far the hardest test I've ever done. Like, there is not a crazy difference.
That really holds up, man.
I cannot believe I'm saying this, but there really isn't a crazy difference. The guest appearance prefers the butcher, but still thinks that this is a really good quality steak.
Confirmed.
Confirmed. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Done and dusted. Thanks for joining me, brother.
Unreal.